to suggest, to help them with their problems that they're asking me to help with. And if they do them, they get better. If they don't, they don't. And there's a lot to that psychology, but just me asking, did you do this yet? You know, that being in their head, someone holding their hand and supporting them and saying, come on, you can do this. This is what helps you get better. You know, stuff like this. It's just, depression is just so hard to fight, and it's so hard to fight alone. I don't even know how anyone can. We need, most important, Anthony, we need support, and we need to talk, okay? There is help out there for you if you want it, Anthony, I promise. Thank you. Good luck. Keep asking questions. Love Hope. I don't know where you're from. Good evening, David. Good evening. Thank you so much for your content. You're welcome. Thank you. It has helped tremendously. I'm having a difficult time deciphering if my ex was truly a narcissist. And now you're going to give me a full rundown of this person. Then I'm already going to tell you I'm not going to diagnose somebody. I'm not even a doctor, and if I was, I can't do that. But he's 47, never married, no kids. His father left him and his family when he was 11, so he was raised in a single-family household. I came from a stable family. You came from a stable family, filled with love from my parents. Then why are you dating people who aren't full of love, who aren't stable? If you hire me, I'll help you find out. I'll point some things out about your family and where it was neglectful. I came from a stable family filled with love from my parents. I'm an ENFJ. I've been with a narcissist before, and based on the information from your videos, the person I dated prior to my recent ex was definitely a narcissist. So you have a pattern of dating unstable, disordered people who neglect and abuse you. It totally contradicts a stable, loving family. I'm not saying they didn't love you. I'm definitely saying they're not stable. And this is emotionally stable, stable sense of our own self. And if we grew up that way, that's normal. It's normal. It's familiar. And you're still doing it. We have to heal not just from the relationships you've had. We have to heal from our childhood. And if we don't even know what the problem was, how can we heal from it? There's nobody I've ever met. We're talking hundreds of people with these experiences with these people that didn't have a totally neglectful or abusive and abusive. Well, neglect's abuse. But childhood, an unstable, unloving childhood. They may have loved you, but if we're filling our life with people who don't love you, maybe they didn't love you enough. Maybe they didn't know how. He never told me he loved me. That is so opposite of what your childhood was. Why do you think? Why? You tell me why down below. Why do you think? Do you know? If you don't know, I would be open to suggestions. Okay? Lived together for 10. He never told me he loved me. He was wealthy, so he constantly gave me gifts, but he disrespected me all the time by constantly being on IG looking at trashy women. And if you stayed with that and put up with that, that's a measure of our self-worth. Maybe you didn't believe you were worthy of more. Your life's more important. And that's usually caused by neglect, abuse, and trauma in childhood. Okay? He knew it hurt me and didn't care. He would talk to his male friends for 3 to 4 hours, 2 to 3 times a week at night, leaving me alone and feeling abandoned and unloved in my own home. He wouldn't communicate with me. Serious talks always turned into an argument, and he would get on the defense. He oftentimes said sarcastic, devaluing things to me, but I brushed it off. Sad. That's our self-worth, okay? He barely gave me comments when he would go out, and I'm a pretty attractive woman. Plus, I'm 10 years younger than him. He left for a vacation last summer to spend time with his cousins, and he was gone for a month and only contacted me 7 times while he was gone. He broke up with me when I asked him about a woman whom he liked her photo on IG. He said we needed to just be friends. He let our 15-month relationship go because I asked him a question about a woman on IG. It's been 9 months since the discard. He's been in a new relationship for 3 months. What's hurting me is the fact that what's hurting me is the fact that he's barely on IG and Facebook anymore, and he's doing all these things I wanted him to do while he was with me, with her now. It makes me feel like I was the problem and I wasn't enough. Stop looking. Stop looking. That's all it's going to tell you, because you don't know. You don't know. You don't know how either of them feel. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know why. You don't know. Gosh, you can't tell anybody by looking at Facebook. You can't tell who somebody is. Oh, stop looking. Please. He didn't respect me enough to stop looking at women on social media, and he's respecting women he's only been with for 4 months. It's painful to see. You don't know if... Did he respect you in the beginning? Okay, and then it turned into that? Then that's probably what he's going to do with her. How do you know he's respecting her? How do you know he's not looking at other women? How do you know he's not having an affair? How do you know these things? That's this thing. Jumping to conclusions, and if you're depressed, boy, those are going to be negative, because it's not jumping to a conclusion that I'm going to be amazingly happy soon, and I just want to get this done and achieve this and be successful, and I can't wait to... Yeah, it's not doing that, is it? You're no good. You're not going to be any good. He doesn't love you because you suck and no one can love you, and he's so much happier with someone else because she's so much better than you. That's depression, and you're feeding it. You are feeding your depression because you think that your anxiety and depression, that you have some control over it by finding out what he's doing and this, and it's just making it worse, isn't it? These aren't signs of a stable, loving family. They're not. Where were they when you were feeling like this? I'm still in love with him and I feel ashamed. I'm so sorry. Might be confused, might be extremely emotionally traumatized. Was he a narcissist or just a user? How would I know? I thought he was going to be my husband, so your loss that you're grieving is not just him, not just the relationship, your future. I never expected the discard. He didn't even try to come back. Hoover, nothing. He made a fake account on social media for about a month. But since he's been with his new woman, it's like he's changed into a better man. I have to admit, for a while, I was beginning to think I was a narcissist. I would go into moments of anger and rage when he would do things to hurt me. And well, how does that make you a narcissist? Your reaction to someone abusing you? And he said my rage was the reason why we didn't work. Ah, you must be believing this. You just said that you would go into moments of anger and rage when he would do things to hurt you. And then he blamed you and said that's the reason. Oh, this doubt that he was easily able to install in your head is because you still have doubt your whole life about your childhood. I'm sure of it. Neglect. Doubt in adulthood. Doubt. We doubt. I don't know what to do. Who am I? Am I the... All this is from childhood neglect. Period. All of it. Unless you have some medical condition that causes that. I didn't have moments like that often, though. And when I did, it was because of something he either said or did. Please give me your advice. Does it sound like he was a narcissist? It's very easy to say he was narcissistic, but I don't know if he has a personality disorder, and I'm not able to say. If I said things like that, people would have no faith or trust, or I'd have no integrity. I'd love to help you there, but I can't. You can look up the DSM-5 and look at narcissistic personality disorder, and there's 9 diagnostic characteristic traits. And if he has 5 of them, then he has the disorder. Sometimes that just makes us more confused. So I don't know how to help you with this because I can't tell you if someone has a personality disorder. Narcissistic? Absolutely. You dated narcissists before? There's a pattern. We're repeating. Okay? You typically have a pattern. I'm just saying. You typically have a pattern of narcissistic, just neglectful, abusive, exploitative people in your life, or you don't. You're not going to... The reason healthy people You know, those people that don't understand what the hell you're talking about at all, because they don't need to. They were given what they needed in childhood to avoid all of this. They know how to communicate. It feels too bad, can't take it, not putting up with this for a second. One red flag, I'm out. Nobody has patterns of this except the people that have patterns of this, us. And these patterns are because of childhood. It's not because it's not something that happened at 18 through 20. And not our childhood was great, stable, loving, but from 18 to 20 something happened, and now I have an ongoing lifetime pattern of these unhealthy relationships. Then it must have been right then. If it started at 22, then it's from 18 to 22 something happened, so figure out what happened there. It's your childhood. It's your childhood. And we were just children, so we weren't very aware of things, and everything's normal. We learned how to defend ourselves and cope and try to live. That's what we learned to do, and that's what we're trying to do now. And what we're doing is what we did in childhood, putting up with neglect, feeling bad, stressed, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, addictions. What are all those from? Why? Not being able to give ourselves what we need, which causes the biggest stress in the world. Biggest cause of stress, relationships. Unstable, neglectful, abusive relationships. Relationships are meant to add comfort, and ours add stress, and we stay in them. If we had fun, loving, happy, stable relationships in childhood, then neglect and abuse and trauma would be so foreign, we wouldn't do it. If you grew up in a minefield your whole life, right? Watching your steps, seeing people blow up all the time, it wouldn't be that bad to do it in your 20s. You wouldn't be as scared. Kind of normal. What's the problem? I'm serious. Okay, that's enough. I don't know if I helped you. Please keep asking more questions. Please. And get help. Get help. If you don't discover these things, if there are problems in your childhood and you don't discover them, you can't heal from it. And so this will just continue. I promise. Okay. Melinda from San Francisco. Hello, Melinda. I'm watching your videos from Mallorca, Spain. Thank you again for all your help. Thank you. Your sessions with me were invaluable. Oh, good. It will be a year in September that I escaped from the abuse that I was addicted to. Constant work on myself seems what it has taken for me to get to a better place. I don't think about him much at all now. One thing I can't thank you enough about is the going no contact for life. I hope all your viewers have got that message. And if you feel like doing another video on that, that would be great. The no contact is so difficult, but I leave the only way. Absolutely. Thanks, Melinda. Good to see you again. If we have third-degree burns on 80% of our body, yeah, we got to get away from the fire. Yeah, I would say forever. Why wait a month and then go stand over it again? Right? Why play with fire if we don't want to get burned? Thanks, Melinda. Kristen from Ventura, California. Thank you so much. Hi, Kristen. You're welcome. Thank you. You're so amazing here helping so many people. Thank you. I'm the only child and have no other family except two only child parents. You're the only child and you have no other family except, you're calling your parents children. My mom was adopted at age 5 and was hoarding and serious deflecting and oppression issues and is developing schizophrenia. And my father is evil, hateful, and angry, controlling me. Interesting, just out there, just you think your mom is developing schizophrenia now. If she's older in age, that's very rare. But I will say that borderline, there's a link that links those two together, schizophrenia and borderline. And she might be getting worse. She might be borderline. So I've been in therapy my entire life. I am 40 years old. Yeah, so your parents are at least in their 60s. Yeah, that schizophrenia is usually developed late in childhood, early in adulthood, 18, 20. And it's a genetic thing. So schizophrenias were born with it, and then there's a trigger. Okay? I doubt her trigger happened in her 60s. Something to consider. So many times I've worked through my childhood trauma and get to the other side and love myself and I'm happy with myself and my life. Then my ex really hurt me and broke my world and hurt so bad I was blindsided, and I've been really mad and pissed off ever since for 8 years now. Wow, 8 years. Oh, I'm sorry. Pain really holds on, and it takes me a long time to get over and work through trauma. That's just me. But, well, no, trauma takes a long time to get over and work through for everyone, or it wouldn't be traumatic, right? Just saying. That's just me. But why do I keep working through my childhood trauma, forgiving my parents and getting to the other side? Then it keeps coming back and I keep having to rework through it over and over. What does it take to work through it and actually be done with it for good? Do most people have it come back, or is it just me? Yeah, this is a pattern for sure, and it's not easy, and you got to find the right professional to help you. And you got to do everything they say. None of this is easy for anybody, for anyone, okay? And people struggle with this sometimes the rest of your life. You probably have CPTSD. And if you Google that, it'll say it's incurable. You're going to have it for the rest of your life. That's not true. I'm here to tell you that's a falsity. But that should tell you it's not easy to heal from. You ask me, why do I keep healing from my childhood trauma and then repeating this? There's probably things you still need to learn, but healing from our trauma and our abuse and our neglect raises our self-worth, so we believe we're worthy of better and stuff like this. But also, it's not about just feeling better. It's not about just healing from our childhood. Big time, it is a part of it. But what is a good relationship? What is it? What does it look like, Kristen? Tell me, right? Feel free to tell me in the next video. In this video down below. Describe to me what you believe is a beautiful, loving, functional, healthy relationship. Do you know? Do you know yourself? Do you know everything you need? Do you know your emotional needs? Do you know everything you value in life and where exactly? Do you know how you feel all the time? Your emotions, do you process them? This is really important. If we don't know who we are, we can't make good, healthy decisions. So this is about having a stable self, healing from our past. There might be more to heal from. Or you go into the same professional, back to the same one. Maybe it's time for another one, okay? If you look at help, the best help in the world, the best help you can get would be on a graph like this, right? So if someone's helping you this much, they're doing an injustice, maybe even damage. I'm not kidding. We got to find the best help available for us, okay? And then we need to raise our self-worth so we're worthy of someone healthy, or we allow people in our life that we feel sorry for, people that are dysfunctional and disordered, okay? So that's who you're allowing into your life. You must not feel worthy of better. So we got to raise our self-worth, and we have to know what a happy, healthy, functional, loving relationship is, even with our friends, okay? I hope that makes sense. I think you have more. Okay. Without having to lose all the progress I've made with my parents, and I don't have to always keep going back to my childhood. How is your relationship with your parents? Really well? Do they respect you now? Is everything on your terms? Are your emotional needs met from them? I doubt it. I doubt it. I think there might be some things that you enjoy that you want to keep and hang on to with your parents, which is fine, but we really got to know how to do that. And we got to have everything on our terms completely, especially if they neglected and abused you in your past. But you said they're narcissist. You can't have a functional, healthy, loving relationship where your emotional needs are met with a narcissist, or they're not a narcissist. If they have narcissistic personality disorder, it won't work. Is it possible to work through it and be done when new trauma happens? I can just work through that and not have to relive my childhood trauma over and over. There's no reason for you to have emotional trauma anymore in your life once you heal from it and learn from it and know how to navigate through relationships. There's no reason to be traumatized. Matter of fact, this process makes you more emotionally intelligent. It raises your emotional intelligence. It makes you more emotionally mature. Okay? That's the goal, that this does this. Okay? And so then we can have better, healthier relationships. I'm so sick of it. I haven't I haven't any actual real mental problems. I haven't developed into having any of my parents' problems. I've bypassed that somehow. I don't want to take it over me now. I want it to take over me now. I've come so far to retreat to a miserable, angry, hateful person, but this keeps negatively affecting me and being the reasons I am unable to fully love myself or anyone else. So I'd start there. Before you start committing to new relationships with new people in your life, let's start loving ourselves first. Okay? First. And that doesn't take meeting a new guy or the right guy or the right... We have to have a relationship with ourselves first. That's where it starts. And then we start, small, with kind of friends and stuff. And then when those are really good, we deal with all our relationships we're currently having, maintain them, and then maybe try a new friend, right? Then maybe dating. But jumping right into dating, one day it's just going to take over, and I'm so over my parents' issues being the reason my new boyfriend is going to F me and ruin my life. Wow, that's depression. You're certain the new boyfriend is going to screw you over and ruin your life because of your parents. Well, if your parents aren't in the picture, they can't do that. You're talking about your past childhood, more to heal from, probably, which means more to learn. More to learn. That learning is being able to navigate through healthy relationships. Okay? I hope I'm clear. I'm really sorry for where you're at. I would evaluate all your relationships. Big time. Lots of introspection. And evaluate these relationships to see if you want them still in your life, if they serve you. And then maybe you can ask these two questions, okay? Individually, each parent you have, ask yourself, what do you want in a relationship with them, with your mother and your father? And be real honest and just really think about, without any outside interference, oh, I don't deserve that, they're not. Just answer the question, what do you want in a relationship from them? Be real clear. And the second question you ask is, what are they capable of giving? What are they capable of doing? Are they capable of these things? Then you have to decide if they're not, do you want to keep them in your life? Because we have to accept this. They're not capable. You're never going to get it. Okay? And if you want to hold on to something good that you have with them, lunch once a week, phone conversation, whatever, we like to do this together. Okay? If you want to hold on to that, then it's time to grieve everything else that you aren't going to get. Time to say goodbye and accept it, grieve, cry, and stop trying with them. And keep that good part on your terms, as long as you can do that. And if you can't do that, then we got to X them out of our life. Okay? It's just not serving you. Hope that helps. Thank you. A troubled artist. Thank you, David. I know you understand these things. Thank you. I can be a double challenge for me being on the autism spectrum, where the symptoms of PTSD also overlap. Your work, along with in-person counseling for emotional abuse, gave me the courage to walk away. So thank you. Thank you. It's been 1.5 years, no contact, still healing, but feel ready in my journey to begin socializing again, especially now lockdown is finally over here in UK. I'm about to work through a self-help book called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. Sounds good. I think many, like myself, could benefit from it, as it addresses codependency, boundaries, and assertiveness, toxic parents, and men's mental health in particular. Well, I recommended something for women this week. Maybe I'll recommend that next week for men. Thank you. And I've had other autistic clients. If you're being neglected and abused at home in your childhood, the only chance you have for functional, healthy relationships is to heal from that and to learn what they didn't teach you, to learn how to. Okay, if you have something else, like you're on the autism spectrum, that just makes it worse. It is so sad. It's so sad, and I'm really sorry. You're not alone. I promise. You're not alone in the way people treated you, the way you grew up, or with your or being on that spectrum. Okay, there are people that have all that. Maybe you can find some. Even more reason to stick with a professional while you're forming new relationships with people. I think that's a really good idea, because it might be extra hard for you to know what's going on. Good luck. Thank you for your message. Thanks for the recommendation. And Hazel Basil from Alabama. Hi, Hazel. Hey, David, thank you so much for all your help. My mother has NPD with BPD traits. And she probably has ASPD traits. And she probably has OCD traits. And she probably has, she might have traits of all 10 personality disorders. Our family orbited around her needs and her pity parties. Those pity parties, those poor me, I'm just a bad mom, I'm just a poor me. That means that she finds life too difficult to try. Easier to play the victim. She acted like a child and held me responsible for her happiness and well-being. So she was dependent on you instead of you dependent on her. Sad. And that's typically maybe the kind of guys you're finding. When I left her for college, she insisted that I had betrayed and abandoned her, gave me the silent treatment, and pouted. I think maybe put you in the other room during the holidays when I was home. I've been no contact with her for 3 years now, after she threatened to commit suicide when I moved away from her with my husband, and my stepdad sexually and physically abused me. And at every turn, she had led to protect herself. Our relationship was all about her needs. I was invisible. I hate how weak and needy she is, but I'm also used to pitying her and excusing her behavior since she is the world's biggest victim. I still feel responsible for her. Yikes. How do I release the guilt I feel for abandoning her and starting my own life? Hazel, I'm sorry. How do I release the guilt I feel for abandoning her and starting my new life? There are many ways, Hazel. We talk. We can write it out. We tell people, don't keep this inside, or it becomes shame. Guilt will turn into shame. Guilt can be healed over time, Hazel. A really good way to heal guilt is have great friends, great relationships in our life where we feel good and happy about ourselves, where other people value in your relationships, okay? That's a beautiful way. Talk, socialize, be creative. Those are great, great ways to alleviate ourselves of guilt. Write her a letter. Think about writing her a letter. Just as an exercise. You don't even have to send it. Maybe sending it would help you. I think healing from our childhood is very necessary. Not healing from trauma makes us feel guilty and ashamed. So maybe really working with a professional would really help you, Hazel. I'm really sorry. Maybe not having her in your life for a while would help you not feel guilty. You'd be amazed at how codependent people can start taking care of themselves when there's nobody else around to be dependent on. And sadly, too bad that didn't happen when she was 18. I always say people that are in people's lives with personality disorders, if anybody in a borderline's life around them, if they're borderline, is enabling them, period. Period. There's no way to keep a relationship with a borderline, and not enable her to not get help, him or her. There's just no way. Because the only way you're going to make these huge, humongous life changes is loss or fear of loss. That's why we're here, right? That's why we don't go find help in therapy typically, because our boyfriend for 6 months at age 18 wasn't nice to us. No, we wait till we lose our job, our health, our family, our friends, our house, our car. Do you see that? That's why you're here. Loss. She doesn't need you. Okay? She's perfectly fine to take care of herself. I know she doesn't think so, and you probably don't think so. But we'll never know until she tries, and she'll never try with you in her life. How's that? Okay? I'm sorry. Talk, socialize, create, get professional. Good, strong, healthy, loving relationships with other people. Number one. Okay? Not easy, but possible. Thanks. The Pope. Wow, the Pope is on my channel. Hi, Pope. Stuff I did drunk, and I'd love to know where you're from. I can't remember a lot, guys. Sorry if I don't remember. Tell me every time if you can. Thanks. Stuff I did drunk, going through rough years, is cringeworthy. When I get flashbacks, it's still embarrassing. I used to say to my ex, at least, I'm not You used to tell your ex, at least I'm not an asshole when I'm sober. My God, the drama of everything was effing delusional, like a B movie. It's good that you can see that. It's good. You're introspecting. That probably caused or causes a little depression for you, but so necessary. These are the things that disordered people won't do. They hate themselves so much they won't introspect. It hurts too bad. You think it hurts you, what you're doing? The fact is, they're not doing it. That's why they go date somebody else right away and buy themselves lots of stuff and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're not looking at themselves because that's how much they hate themselves. That's it, guys. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. They were great as usual. Please keep asking. Just keep asking. It doesn't matter. No bad questions. Ask me anything you want personal. I'll let you know if it's too personal. Please support me again. Please subscribe to the channel if you think I'm helping you. Please vote. The little thumbs up down there. Comment. Say hi. Tell us where you're from. Share this video. Put it in a playlist. If you need coaching, daviddemars.com. Always love yourself, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.